no.
Liam, flirt with me.
I think you're probably ready to take it.
Pretty good.
Oh no.
I'd like to create a minor illusion of a sexy rat.
She did it. That's a hot rat.
That is honestly a hot rat.
So this nightmare rat is created with illusory magic.
Oh my God, what the is that? What the is that?
Oh no.
Principal Eggfort looks at people who have fallen here. Adon, you're covered in blood. Riz, you're covered in corn.
Are there clerics or priests or anybody here?
There are times when great magic can work wonders.
You mother.
You see, he reaches into his coat and takes out a swirling ball of fire surrounded by pieces of like red feathers. You see, he says, "The egg of the last phoenix. However, death will exact its price. There is foul play in this school. And only you can save us. A life for a life. Eh, Mr. Gibbons?" You see Mr. Gibbons looks up and says, "I'm sorry, what?" And you see that Principal Eggfort takes out a gun and shoots Mr. Gibbons in the head. And then takes the gun and says, "The price must be paid." Bam! And shoots himself in the head. Gorgog and Kristen, you come back to life.
What the f?
Wait, the lunch lady, what about her life? It could have counted for one of them.
You're all back at full hit points.
What did you just do? We gotta go, guys.
No, this isn't safe for kids. Look at them. Their eyes are burning. But believe it or not, despite being told that I look 50, Oliver, that wasn't very nice, I'm not. I'm young and without child, and I love these shows so much, too much, to render any real judgment. So the following is the writing from one of our DMs who does have children. So without further ado, let's begin. Shows like Critical Role, Dimension 20, and The Adventure Zone are called actual play. Shows where people tell a story by playing Dungeons and Dragons, and games like it. These shows have become hugely popular, spinning off into live performances, production companies, and even animated TV shows. We already went over everything you need to know about actual play shows in general, but today we wanted to address some questions about what shows like Dimension 20 are rated. Is it okay for, say, a 12-year-old to watch Critical Role? Should you let your child listen to The Adventure Zone? Are there actual play shows for kids specifically? We'll provide you with everything you need to know to find a good D&D show for your kids and your family. Critical Role Productions is the Marvel Cinematic Universe of actual play, the first big breakout of its kind and the most popular by far. Their flagship show is, of course, Critical Role. This series is set in the world of Exandria with all new parties of characters for each season. Vox Machina, The Mighty Nine, and Bell's Hells. Each Critical Role season, while they're fantastic stories, is pretty thoroughly imbued with R-rated shenanigans, flagrant cursing, fairly explicit sexual content, and a whole lot of irresponsible tavern visits. Their animated show, The Legend of Vox Machina, adapts the first season, including these not-so-PG elements. Though each family needs to make media decisions for their own children, we have seen many a young Critical Role enthusiast, we can't give the main series our stamp of approval. Fortunately, Critical Role has also produced several miniseries and one-off episodes. Some take place in Exandria, like Wildmount Wildlings, while others venture to other worlds, like The Legend of Zelda Adventure Lookout, Here We Come. The best Critical Role for kids, though, has got to be the Re-Slayer's Take. This takes place in Exandria, spinning off of Critical Role's legendary monster hunters, the Slayer's Take. Now, these monster hunters have turned a blind eye to rumors of undead monstrosities, and it's up to a crew of misfits to battle the monsters and save the day. This show is actually designed for kids from the ground up, with family-friendly Critical Role content and episode lengths that are much more fit for a young listener's attention span. When looking for Dungeons & Dragons shows for kids, many look to the ever-popular Dimension 20. Much like Critical Role, Dimension 20 started off as a single show, then spun off into several different miniseries and ongoing adventures. The original show is Fantasy High, named for Eggfort Adventuring Academy, a 1950s-style high school for adventurers in the middle of a region of wild magic. This show was actually launched by a production company called College Humor, since renamed Dropout, and it shows. Their humor is laden with swears, innuendo, and references to drugs and alcohol. All of this is plenty of fun for many adult listeners, but it's not the best choice for younger ears. But Dimension 20 is much more than just fantasy high. They've got Greek mythology pro wrestling, meta 80s action adventures, film noir, horror fairy tales, Regency fairies, galactic adventures, murder mysteries, and even a mashup of Candyland and Game of Thrones. The ratings of Dimension 20 shows vary, but since none of them are made for younger listeners, the cast will often go off on a lewd tangent or two. But several of the people behind Dimension 20 are parents and know about their need for family-friendly D&D shows. Enter Roll in the Family, a Dimension 20 show for kids. Not only is the content family-friendly, but the players are too. 3 nerdy parents joined Brennan Lee Mulligan's game and brought their children along with them. Unlike Critical Role in Dimension 20, the D&D show The Adventure Zone is a family affair. In the show, 3 brothers, Justin, Travis, and Griffin McElroy, play D&D with their dad, Clint McElroy. Each season of The Adventure Zone is a new story with new characters. They started out with a traditional D&D show with wizards, magic, and cursed items, but they have since done undersea adventures, dystopian theme parks, and vampire hunting. Some of these series, like their Sherlock Holmes-themed adventure, keep the content wholly PG. So is The Adventure Zone kid-friendly? Well, there's no getting around it, as anybody who listens to the Brothers podcasts, my brother, and me, will know. These boys love a dirty joke or an emphatic curse word. Before you ask, no, the inclusion of their dad does not help. Because of this, we can't recommend most of the Adventure Zone show, or the graphic novel it inspired, which illustrates a highlight reel of not safe for work jokes, both in and out of universe. Between the beginning of the Adventure Zone in 2014 and now, these 3 brothers and dad have become 3 dads and a grandpa. So they want to create an adventure series that their own kids could listen to without needing to cover up anything with bleeping noises. So they decided that their latest season, Abnormals, would keep their overall humor, but leave the R-rated bits at the door. This story is perfect for kids too, straight out of a Saturday morning cartoon. Abnormals take place in a world of athletic, crime-fighting animal heroes inspired by the shows the brothers watched growing up, think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Street Sharks. Another great benefit of Abnormals for young listeners is the simplicity of the game they play. Unlike the seasons where they play D&D, which is more complex, game best for older kids and adults, Game Master Travis actually invented his own game just for the show. There are plenty of people looking for a kids version of D&D or wondering whether a show with D&D is appropriate for kids. We went into full detail about when kids can play Dungeons & Dragons in a previous video, but what about when they're watching or listening to someone else play? Some D&D shows will go in detail about the rules they're referencing, the dice they're rolling, and the math they're doing. For some kids, trying to keep up with all of that can be frustrating. And for busy parents, listening to hours of D&D content to see what's a good fit for your child can be wholly unfeasible. Luckily, some actual play shows for kids use games that are much easier to understand than D&D. Some of them are even designed specifically for kids. One show that fits the bill perfectly is the Autonomic Podcast. The show is an ongoing story created in the Bright system, used in Burn Bright, a game with simplified mechanics that make sure to include everyone in the story. Autonomic take place in the world of Respite, an Indian and Ecuadorian-inspired world of dangerous monsters, powerful magic, and superpowered humans called Nomics. Over a decade ago, all the Nomics protecting the people of Respite disappeared mysteriously. Now, a group of middle schoolers find themselves saddled with the powers of Nomics and have to solve this new mystery, protect the world, and try not to fail algebra. This show was built specifically with kids in mind by Kat Cool, one of the co-founders of the One Shot Podcast Network, a nifty collection of podcasts related to tabletop role-playing games like D&D. The network also has their own all-ages podcast, Courier's Call, about a group of teen couriers sailing on an airship and riding giant magical birds. Another great show for listeners too young for D&D is the Almost Bedtime Theater podcast. Unlike most of the shows we've listed so far, which are performed by professional adult actors, comedians, and improvisers, Almost Bedtime Theater is a small crew where the kids outnumber the adults. One game designer dad, his daughter, and her cousin. They made the show to introduce families to all kinds of tabletop role-playing games. It features all different kinds of games and stories, dragon taming, fairy heists, and even tech-savvy ninjas. What's not to love? If your kids have a taste for actual play shows but are starting to become interested in Dungeons & Dragons specifically, there are several great D&D shows for kids. In the Kids Table podcast, kids quite literally run the show. They get to decide where the story goes and how they want to play. The show was created by two like-minded educators and D&D fans who saw how helpful D&D was for kids and how little family-friendly D&D content was out there. In the show, they modify the game as needed to make D&D good for kids. Plus, their episodes are short, 20 minutes tops, which is perfect for young attention spans. Like Almost Bedtime Theater before it, Dadventurous features a father and daughter team playing D&D together, and Dungeons and Dragons and Daughters has twin teenage sisters who've been playing on the show together since they were 8. Though this one technically is not a show, we do have to give an honorable mention to World of Cord. They're another family outfit creating a Dungeons and Dragons campaign together with 6 players. While they don't record audio or video, they can still keep up with their adventures by reading their session transcripts, world-building lore, and reviews on their website. Here's a list of kid-friendly D&D shows. If you like Critical Role, check out the Re-Slayer's Take. If you like Dimension 20, try Roll in the Family. If you like Adventure Zone, listen to Abnormals. And for D&D shows specifically made for kids, The Kids Table, Dadventurous, Dungeons and Dragons and Daughters, and World of Cord. And if you don't care if it's exactly D&D, check out Autonomic, Courier's Call, and Almost Bedtime Theater. All of them are really awesome. Go check them out. These shows cover a broad range of genres, from traditional high fantasy to Saturday morning cartoon, and include content geared towards many age levels. There should be something here that appeals to nearly every adventurer. If you'd like to check out D&D, consider joining our tween and teen groups, where nerdy dungeon masters, like me, run online games with epic adventures, wild plots, and some good old-fashioned dramatic battles. We'd love to see you there. Thanks for watching, and happy playing.